Ever pondered over the story of Jesus calming the storm? This tale, often echoed within the hallowed halls of churches, encapsulates the essence of Jesus as a divine entity possessing control over natural phenomena. In the scene where Jesus rebukes the wind and the waves and they immediately cease, many interpreters have personified the storm. They perceive it not as an inanimate entity, but rather as a sentient being capable of hearing, understanding, and acting. The idea is that one can communicate, rebuke, manipulate, and direct such entities. But this raises an intriguing question. If we can personify these non-living entities, wouldn't conversing with a stone or joking with a cloud seem perfectly normal? This perspective suggests that all natural materials and phenomena are open to communication. We just lack the means or knowledge to interact. But remember, this is merely a conjecture without any biblical foundation. Other interpreters suggest that Jesus was not rebuking the storm per se, but rather the spiritual forces manipulating it. In simpler terms, the evil spirits in the air and the unclean spirits in the sea. This interpretation aligns more closely with the original biblical text. You might wonder why these dark spiritual forces chose to stir up the storm at sea. The answer lies in the Bible. Jesus and his disciples were crossing the sea to reach the region of the Gerasenes. Their mission was to exorcise a man possessed by a legion of unclean spirits. The world of spirits, much like our own, operates on the principles of birds of a feather flock together. There is communication between these spiritual forces. So, to protect their territory from Jesus' liberating influence, they united to create a storm at sea, attempting to intimidate Jesus and his disciples. Upon calming the storm and reaching the shore, Jesus was immediately confronted by the possessed man. He fell at Jesus' feet, crying out, "What have you to do with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I beg you, do not torment me." Why did he cry out thus? The legion of demons within him had already received news of Jesus calming the storm and understood his purpose. Pressed by Jesus' authority over the spiritual realm, they pleaded for mercy. This interpretation is particularly relatable for those familiar with the Chinese classic Journey to the West, where any changes in weather or natural phenomena often signal the presence of demons or evil spirits. In the Bible, the sea often symbolizes a life of hardship and unrest. If floods represent God's judgment on sinners, then the sea signifies suffering, labor, despair, turbulence, darkness, and death, the end of life. In the book of Revelation, the sea is described as a hiding place for the beast, a breeding ground for evil forces, symbolizing entrapment in sin, darkness, and demonic influences. Whether it's Jesus walking on water, traversing the stormy waves, or calming the storm as we've discussed today, all these narratives underscore Jesus as the Messiah who triumphs over all dark forces.